Hello, my beautiful people. Happy solstice. It's also Hike Naked Day, but I won't be doing that because nobody needs to see all this out there. There is, fun fact, a nudist colony in Palmerton, which I actually support because there are naturalists who think that that's a good lifestyle, and power to them. So, solstice and all the eightfold wheels celebrations, when you get to them, people are like, oh, I can't. I'm Christian. I can't support that. Sure you can. You're a grown adult. You can do whatever you want. Solstice is the summer solstice. Solstice. I have problems with those S's. Is the longest day of the year. It's the longest day with sunshine, right? So obviously you can do more today. And then after this, it kind of goes back down incrementally until we get to the winter solstice, which is the shortest amount of light you have in a day. That's all it means. Stonehenge, things like that, big, structures, traditions all over the world for light, makes sense because, before the written word, what did you have? You had the stars, you had the sky, you had the sun. These are the things that you planned your life around because that's when you would plant your crops. So it makes sense that you would have a celebration to celebrate sunlight. It's a great day. It's what it is. So however you celebrate, whether you're Christian or pagan or nothing or everything, have an amazing day. So let's get some solstice energy. Have our Iona stones. Watched a great video about column keel, which is here in Bangor, which was, I'll put it down below so you can take a wee tour of it. It is a great space. And I was thinking yesterday, I was thinking about Iona, and I'm hoping to go back. I was thinking, I didn't run into Gerry Butler there. But alas, it's okay. I have a feeling that Gerry Butler is into all the spiritual stuff just based on some things that he's written and talked about. I think he's out of his league in Hollywood because I don't know. I know there are people who are awakened, if that's the word that you use. And then there are a whole lot of people who buy that. But I genuinely think he didn't buy his awakening. So, yeah. But anyway, he wasn't on Iona when I was there. But a lot of other amazing people were. So I want to go back, this time staying in the Abbey and volunteering. So we'll see if I can make that happen. But as of right now, let's read a stone, shall we? All right, Spirit, what kind of energy should we think about on solstice, taking us into the next half of the year? This may resonate with me or resonate with you. Huh. If dice cup. Oh, I didn't say what we were reading. Did I say three Norns? I think I said three Norns in my head. So, dice cup, that's our present energy. Could go either way. That's what could happen. What brings us to this energy, Spirit? Huh. Fehu. Domesticated cattle. And where are we headed? Remembering that runestones do not predict the future. These are not tarot stones. Nothing wrong with tarot. I don't read it, but I watch a lot of people reading it. Oh, I don't know. I keep getting Thursaz. All right. I am going to pause for a hot second and think about these, and then I'll be right back. So, grab a tea or a biscuit, and I'll be back. So, I don't know who here is going to Atlantic City or to Vegas, but this is all about not relying on luck, right? So, our predecessor energy is like lucky. I feel lucky, right? I'm going to play the lotto. Play the lotto all the time. I still don't have my crib and gallon bagpipes, and I don't have a hitch on my Jeep. These things too shall come, right? So you're feeling lucky, you're feeling like, oh, and it's fun to play games and, and do things like that, and to, have fun with games of chance and things like that. And I don't think this is necessarily about games of chance, but it's about, like, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get that job I want, or maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get that person that I want, that partner that I want. And you come from, like, a lot of blessings, right? So Fehu is all about new beginnings and blessings and abundance. And so, like, you have a lot and you're like, well, okay, I have a lot. So I must have really good luck. Chances are you earned a lot that came with all that good fortune came from working hard. So, like, feeling lucky, don't go betting the farm on stuff, because that is going to, like, the message that popped out from the page from the book is know your limits. Like, don't bet the farm, whatever that is, if that's a metaphor or actually don't bet the farm. Like, know what your limits are and don't exceed them. And just, don't rely on luck as your action plan. Let's see if we have any additional messages from Spirit. We'll check with Celtic. I've treat today. I have new cards. We're going to see if we like them. See, I tried relying on my luck to meet and hang out and talk about spiritual stuff with Gerry Butler at Iona. See, that didn't work out. Because, like, I don't know, people like Gerry Butler live in a stratosphere I don't even understand. So on Instagram, he has a fangirls page. They always post pictures of him, and they say the most ridiculous stuff. I mean, it's kind of cute, but they're like, isn't he so dashing? I'm like, I don't care about any of that. I want to sit out and, like, have a cup of tea and talk about Spirit. But alas, it's interesting on the solstice. You think about the sun and the longest day ever, and today's my son's first day of work. My son's disabled. He has his first real job. He's so excited. We had to buy him shoes. I don't think he could ever been so excited to go. I don't think he's ever been excited to go buy shoes, because he barely wears clothes. He should work at the nudist resort, because he doesn't like to wear clothes. I mean, he likes to wear pants. I get shorts, but never wears a shirt. Anyway, he's super excited, and I'm going to be working with kids in the community later today, doing little hiker bags for our through hikers that come through, and they're so sweet, and it's just like a sweet day. And so I have off today because I always take off for the solstices, with those floating holidays that you give, because what else am I going to use them for? And just, anyway, good energy today. So I'm not thinking I'm living in a space of luck, but who knows? All right, let's see if Spirit has anything else to add to this reading. Nothing comes through in the 3 passes. There's nothing to add. So here we go, Spirit. Pass 1. Pass 2. And pass 3. We have the she. So I named my camper, my new camper that I just opened up. I bought it 2 years ago, but then I fractured my heel, and that set me out for the year. So I just opened it for the first time, and it was a magical crafting tent, and I have named it the She Shed. And that'll be, my friend is really good at woodworking and burning and stuff like that, so he's going to make me something like this for the She Shed. Ancient knowledge, help, dimensional. So again, not relying on luck, but relying on meditation, hard work. Nothing comes to us by chance, right? Everything comes to us with a reason. And if we get too sort of locked into that idea that, like we're lucky, that we're rolling dice to make decisions, or we're rolling dice to express our feelings, whatever that the metaphorical or physical dice are, you're going to get in tricky territory, and then you're not going to know your limits. And wild rage is another one of the ideas that come out of Thursdays. So just be really careful because, you know, if you ever go to like Atlantic City, and I've been there a few times, I have such a thing, like the money this is back in the olden days, Padawan, you would go on a bus, right, from Bethlehem to Atlantic City. Bethlehem has its own casinos now, so no need to do this now, but back in the day, you would go with a local bar, and like you'd go down and you'd pay like $20, and you would get $20 in quarters, because back then they had quarters, and I would put the quarters on one side of my jeans, and then when I would go, I would play my quarters, and then whatever I got out of the machines went in my other pocket, and then when these quarters were done, I was done gambling, because I don't have money to throw down a toilet. Then we'd go to the Irish bar that was around the corner. I'm not a big drinker, but it was always fun. A group of us would go down there. So it was fun. But what was the point of this story? It's to tell you, do you ever like walk around a casino and see how unhappy people are? You know, like the people are like sitting there and they're just mindlessly, back then it was putting the quarters in, and mindlessly now it's just pressing the button or whatever. And sometimes, I think in some of the machines you don't have to press the button anymore. Like they're waiting for that one big win, but they don't look happy. Like you walk around, it's just a sea of sad, grumpy faces, and you know, like it's so not joyful. And you know, I don't know. Gambling never really took root in me, I guess. Just because I don't have the money for it, for one. But I'm going to give my money to the poor. I'm not going to give it to, you know, Trump's casino, or the, what was that called? The Tropicana, right? So, all right, Spirit. Are there any messages from this deck? 3 passes. If nothing comes out, then it stands on its own. Just rambly today on Solstice. It'll be the longest video ever. On the longest day ever. That's what Spirit has to say about it. Well, this one flipped up and this one stuck out, so. And then 3. We had lots to say today. Alright. Get the one that fell on the floor. I shall be back. You can all look at my creative stuff back there. Since this one flew on the floor, we'll read this one first. Healing Grief. Such a beautiful card. So these are beautiful cards. They're all beautiful, but these are really beautiful. And we have Understanding. And then we have Heart Healing. Ooh. Somebody out there has a lot of healing to do. And Blessed Sight. Huh. So 2 healings came through. Heart Healing and Healing Grief. So I feel like somebody out here is really going through some grief, some sadness. And my heart goes to you. My heart absolutely goes out to you. Whatever this grief is that you're working with. It's going to take a lot of understanding and blessed sight to get through it. Maybe that's the energy, is that, you know, that, I don't know who that resonates for, but I'll leave that as it is. We have new cards today. We have just thinking, pivoting here. One of the things I've been thinking about today is the submersible that they're looking for. And I have a feeling this reading might be about that. Because, number one, it doesn't matter to me. Billionaires, I always joke about Gerry Butler, but famous people, I don't care. They live in a different stratosphere. But the people on this submersible, you know, they're billionaires because that's what it cost. It cost $250,000 to go down to the Titanic. Equally, it costs $250,000 to go up in a Virgin Galactic space flight if you want to go take pictures of the Earth from outer space. I don't have a problem with people being billionaires. They earn their money however they earn it, and it's up to them how they want to spend it. But the Titanic is a graveyard. It's a graveyard where hundreds of lives were lost in the most desperate and grievous way. It is not a carnival attraction. I felt very strongly about this morning. That's why I posted about it on Facebook. And we make these tragedies a carnival ride, a carnival attraction. Let's go see the fat lady, go see the Titanic people, like go see the Titanic. Like, they weren't meant to be there. That's not, I mean, it's one thing to do research that's going to benefit the future of shipwrecks, preventing shipwrecks. It's a whole other thing to go down and gawk at the suffering and the misfortune of others. And that's like, and this craft, I mean, I don't know anything about underwater craft, really. But if you're powering it with a game controller, my sense is that you're not putting a whole lot of, you're not putting a whole lot of the money in that you're getting into development of your product. Some people were fired for, kind of whistleblowing and saying, hey, this isn't safe. It can't go to these depths. They had like a 14-page, document you had to sign to release the company of any whatever, because I think they said death was mentioned 3 times in the first page or something like that. You're not meant to go there. I don't care that you had the money to do it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And you shouldn't test your luck with Mother Nature. So these are people who are super, super abundant, right? Like, they have the money to do this. I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the money to buy the set of bagpipes I want, which is not even 1% of that amount of money, right? These people had the money to do it. They took their chances, and it isn't going to end well. They're not going to be able to find it because it's so small. I mean, they're hearing some knocking, but they're not, even if they find it, they don't have anything that can go deep enough to get it. And I don't know if they have a giant magnet they can pull it up with, or, there are drones that are underwater drones, but I don't know what their payload is. So I don't know that there's anything strong enough to get it. So just because you can do something, because you got the money and the stuff to do it, doesn't mean you should test your luck, because it's not going to end well. And as I look at these cards, there's going to be a lot of heart healing and healing grief, these families, and these researchers, because as a first responder, they go through grief too, because they are helpless. I mean, they don't have tools that can find something that far down, like that. And it's like a ticking time bomb, because those people are still alive, assumedly right now. They're still making the noise. But they're going to run out of oxygen. And so, we just have to pray. Just pray for the souls on there. I'm not angry at the people for going. It's like your teenager who goes and does something that they shouldn't do. My teenagers don't go anywhere. But, I'm not angry at them for going or anything like that. It's just that you shouldn't make light of the dead. You shouldn't make light of grief and the tragedy that was the Titanic. It's not a spectator sport. It's a graveyard. It's like looking into somebody's casket. Like, we have to stop gawking at lives that have been put to rest and show some respect for the dead. That's the feeling I'm getting from this reading. But on that note, see if I can pivot again before I end this world's longest video. I got a new book called The Triads of Ireland. It's an illustrated book. It's beautiful. I got it on Etsy. I will link it below. But there's this form of poetry that I did not know about. I'm an English professor and I didn't know about it. But I've seen it in places. I just didn't know it was like a movement where they would take a concept and it has like a title, and that would have 3 things underneath it. So this one is 3 things that constitute a physician: a complete cure, a healing without blemish, a painless examination. 3 things that constitute a poet: knowledge that illumines, a mind for memory, a tongue for improvisation. So this book came with cards, and I thought to go with the reading, I would test this out and see if a card comes along and from Spirit that sort of adds meaning to this reading. To not take chances with things that we should be respectful of. A little hard to shuffle. I don't think I shuffled them at all right there. All right, Spirit. Please give us one card to go with the reading. If none come out, we know that the reading stands on its own. Cards are super stiff. Number 2. None come out. I'm just going to read the back card just because I normally don't do that, but the cards are really stiff, so I can't tell if it's just that I can't physically get them out yet. I have to play with them more. The 3 chief sins: avarice, gluttony, and lust. And lust can mean sexual lust, but can also mean lusting after things that we shouldn't lust after. Going to see the Titanic. I think we're all going to learn a really valuable lesson. You know, science can only do so much. Maybe they ought to call in the aliens that landed in Las Vegas. They could use their technology, I bet, to get down there. But even if they do find them, there may be no way to get them out. So you really are testing your fate on something that was run with a game controller. Like, how did the people in that ship not know that? That it was, put together with parts that I have in my attic. Use your resources well. Don't live by chances, because the outcome isn't going to be good. So, I think this is more about the Titan thing, but we can all certainly apply it to our lives. And I always feeling this energy about the Titan, so it's no surprise I pulled the stones for it. So, that's the Solstice message. I'm wishing you all the best in light and love. Go out, make good choices, be amazing. Be well. Bye-bye.